Good morning, everybody. This is Win the Day. We are together every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard. And if you're missing any of these, catch it on the podcast. I'm super excited. My team got that all up and running. So, anywhere that you like to listen to podcasts, you can find the 100K Challenge Check. That is my podcast, you guys. So, welcome to all of you listening from the podcast, those of you who are watching from YouTube, and all of you who are live with me on Facebook or catching a Facebook replay. Good morning, everybody. All right, so win the day. The entire point is for us to really start focusing on the fact that every day matters, right? We are entrepreneurs, we are moving our businesses forward. So I just bring topics that I discuss with my clients or that I'm learning as a business coach to really inspire and encourage you guys to keep moving on your entrepreneurial journey. I am Tanika D'Souza, the host of this podcast, and I am the 100K Challenge Chick. I'm here to empower women entrepreneurs to break the 100K income ceiling in our businesses. Did you guys know it was only 18% of us that hit that six-figure mark? And where I live in Washington, D.C., $100,000 is really not that much. So I really am passionate to help more women see some financial gains from all the work that we do and all that we put into our businesses. So today we're talking about something that I love, which is customized entrepreneurship, right? That is a concept. I don't even know how many people are talking about this, but it's absolutely the crux of what I talk about. So empowering you to make $100,000, but absolutely doing it in a way that you are customizing your entrepreneurial journey. That is like what you're going to always hear me talk about. So how is it that almost everything else in our life, we totally expect to be different. We know that we're different. We accept it. But somehow in business, we think that we're supposed to be doing exactly what somebody else did. Right. So, I mean, for me, I am an African American woman. Like, I don't try to be a different race. I'm not trying to be anything outside of what I am. And I understand that I am different from a lot of people for a lot of reasons. Even if you go into like what I've studied, how many kids I have, how long I've been married, different occupations that I had, different businesses that I've started. All of those things make me a different person with a unique skill set, different training, different mindset. All of those things are different. But somehow you know that for yourself. Like, you know how you've been trained, how you're wired, the things that make you really happy in life, the things that irritate the mess out of you, right? You know all that about yourself, but somehow you flip the switch to be like everybody else when it comes to business. So we're talking about three things that have kind of been hindrance to us and reasons why we keep pursuing trying to do things like everybody else when we really should be focused on customizing our entrepreneurial journey for ourselves, right? So I want us to start thinking about this as you are going into business for yourself, and it has to be done in a way that's going to play to your strengths and fit your lifestyle, because at the end of the day, it's your business. Okay. So, just as much as you can accept that people are different and they come from all different walks of life and background and they were raised differently, your business is going to present to the world very differently from anybody else's business. Okay, so that is what we're talking about today. If that makes sense to you, give me some likes, especially on Facebook. Give me some likes and some loves. If you have felt really stuck, like, I never felt like I could change things about business, put that in the comments. Like, what are your current thoughts about customizing your entrepreneurial journey? I know when I started in business, I didn't think that was a thing. And maybe it's because it was so many years ago that I didn't really see a lot of options. I just saw a few things working, and I really felt like that was my only options. But it didn't work for me. It was totally stressful. And that's why I am now passionate to really help people understand that you have options. And before I get into these three things that we have been doing that we're going to stop doing, I do want to invite you guys to Coaching Week next week, April 19th through the 23rd. You guys can register for free. Okay. I am going to be teaching you all the different options you have in your business. So I'm going to be presenting business models. And the big walk away for you is that you will be getting this training for free, but I really want you to walk away with one or two business strategies that you can use in your business that are going to fit your lifestyle, fit your strengths, and really help you to feel excited again about running your business and running it your way. So that's my objective for next week. And you can register at 100kchallengechick.com. Okay. So if you're listening, 100kchallengechick.com, the link should be like in all my bios everywhere. And if you're on Facebook, you could also go to that website. All right. So we're not currently customizing our entrepreneurial journey. And why is that? So number one, here's what a lot of us do. We believe that we are watching other people have success, and that's what we want, especially financial success, right? And so they tell us, here's what I did. And somehow we translate that to, here's exactly what I need to do as well. So the biggest mistake that people make is taking someone else's roadmap to success and following it verbatim, no changes, just step by step. Right? That person said, here's my guide to millions. Or this is how I made my first 7 figures. Do it. And we're excited, like, oh, yes, I'm definitely going to make 7 figures. I'm going to do it. And we made no adjustments for our own lives. We made no adjustments for anything. And we just wanted to follow step by step what that person did. 9 times out of 10, you did not see the success that they saw because it wasn't going to work for you. You didn't do anything to customize it. And I see this the most in network marketing because you have joined a company, you saw other people, their leaders making money. But even then, when they say, here's what I did, maybe you should be asking some of the hard questions, like how long did it take you? What, like ask some of those things so that you have a realistic picture of how they made this work for their life. So following someone else's step-by-step guide is not going to work for you. You really have to take what someone else says and customize it to you. And if you really pay attention, especially in network marketing or in other industries where you see multiple people making lots of money and having lots of success, you can see how each one of them customized that journey for themselves. Very rarely will you see two people doing the exact same thing, making the exact same success and money. So they're showing you that they customize. So why did you think that you didn't have to customize? So that's one, following someone step by step. I know we all do it. It's an easy trap to fall into. But now that you know it has to be customized, you are going to now look at things and put yourself in that scenario and say, how can I make this work for me? And that is totally okay. And what you should expect to do. Okay. Number two, when things didn't work out, let's say you had that guide, right? And you weren't seeing the success. We implement number 2, which is we work harder because clearly we weren't putting in enough time to get this done. And that's a huge mistake. Like, instead of recognizing this was not going to work for me, this does not fit my life, this is totally not good. We just decide to do more of it. Like, oh, clearly it didn't work because I wasn't dedicated enough, and I need to go on a sprint, and I need to do this, and I need to do that. And we start working harder. So I'm not at all going to tell you that entrepreneurship is easy, and the minute that you're working hard means that you're doing it wrong, because you definitely have some time frames where you need to be putting in some hard work. However, if the entire journey is hard, I can promise you you're not going to stick to it. I can promise you that you're not going to stay the course and do what is necessary in order to see the success that you want to see. So working harder is not the answer. Working harder and just kind of spinning to especially follow what somebody else has been doing is not your answer. So we've learned that we're not going to just take someone else's word and follow step by step. We are not going to just work harder if it doesn't work. And then 3, this is the thing that we do a lot. And this is the part that really causes us to quit on our businesses. And that is when we start to sacrifice our own needs for the business, right? So I'm not saying that you won't sacrifice anything for your business. I'm not saying that you're always going to have all the time in the world for everything that you want to do, because that's not true. However, when we get to a point that we're following someone else's plan, we're just putting in more work, we start to then sacrifice so many things that are needed for us, right? So this could include like your family time, your sleep, your downtime for yourself, just all kinds of things. We start, especially like our self-care, we start to neglect those things. And then ultimately we back ourselves into a corner where we feel like we have to choose. So it's the only way that I'm seeing anything from this business is I'm sacrificing like everything. I am working so hard, but I'm doing step by step what this person asked me to do. So I'm starting to see something. But what we tend to do is, because we have sacrificed so much, worked so hard, paid for that system or joined that company, we feel backed into a wall that it's like an all or nothing situation. Either I'm going to go all in, sacrifice all these things to get this done, or I'm not going to do it at all. And this is where I have coached a lot of people, because they just are frustrated. They're tired, they're frustrated, they're overwhelmed. And it's all because they didn't understand that they had options to do business their way. Had they taken that step by step and said, perfect, this is a really great guide. Let me figure out how I can work that into my life. Let me figure out how I can make this work, versus do this, do that, do this, and just doing it just without even thought for your own life is crazy, right? So I have seen the business owners, I have been the business owner who really sacrificed so much, worked so hard, and then at the end of it, I'm seeing the success, but it's like, at what cost, right? At the cost of not doing my daughter's hair, at the cost of not sleeping very much, at the cost of my self-care being like crap. My weight has been like up and down most of my entrepreneurial journey. And that is not a brag at all. That is like really awful. So I don't want you guys to do that. I have realized over time that I really can customize the business that I'm in, the business that I'm starting, whatever it is. You really have to. Otherwise, you're going to quit. Because if you're sacrificing so much of, let's say, your family time and your sleep, you will get to a point where you will decide that that business isn't worth it. And it's really because you've made it a business or family, versus figuring out, how do I make this business work in the context of my family, in the context of the things I need. And you may be listening to this, say, well, then, I wanted to move fast. I wanted to get this done. Well, if your family starts falling apart, if your marriage starts falling apart, you're going to make a decision. Are you choosing the business, or are you choosing your family? And most people are going to choose their family and quit on the business. But if you had customized this, if you really tried to tailor it to make it work for you, then you wouldn't be at a place where you feel like, I have to choose A or B. It would be, okay, well, this business, I prefer to do events because I really only have 2 or 3 times per year that I can really dedicate to this business. So that's when I'm going to have events, and I can just do a push just before and, do all the fulfillment after. But that's it. Like, for example, if you're a teacher and you really only have like spring break, summer, and like a winter break, then you can plan your business around that. So what I'm saying is, if you, let's use the teacher, if you decided, I have to do something every week and host people every weekend, and you're falling behind on work, you're not spending any time with your family because you teach all week, and now all your weekends are going toward events, then you're just going to be burnt out, versus figuring out, okay, I could do 3 larger events 3 times a year, and that's it. Then you're customizing it to make it fit for you. Some people will say, well, I mean, clearly, if I'm doing something every week versus 3 times a year, like, I'm going to make more money doing it every week. So I just need to suck it up. It's business, and I just have to get this done. The reality is, you're going to burn out. You're not going to be that successful doing it every week if it doesn't fit your life, because you would have never put in really good effort to get that done. So yeah, it's not going to be the same financially to do something 3 times. But what if you can do it those 3 times, really learn, grow, build an audience, enjoy what you do, have time for your profession, have time for your family, and invest time into your business. And then after maybe year 1, once you understand what you're doing, you start to get a team, and then you can start building and growing. I think a lot of times the reason why we find ourselves in these 3 traps is because we think that business is instantaneous, right? We want it right now. We want to get your step-by-step guide and do all the steps immediately. I'm going to work really hard right now because I know my millions are just a couple months away, or I'm just willing to sacrifice everything because my family should be able to wait and respect my business, and they should be fine when I'm done. And the truth is, you really do have to customize. Business is not a one-size-fits-all situation. You bring a unique set of skills and strengths to your business. Utilize that. And don't neglect your entire life because you have chosen to be an entrepreneur. So that's what I have for you guys. And as I mentioned earlier, next week we're talking about how to customize your entrepreneurial journey. I'm going to present over a dozen business models, and I want you to choose 1 or 2 that are going to work for you. So we will be together next week every day at noon Eastern Standard Time. And it's in a private Facebook group. So I do want you to join me live, but you're absolutely welcome to watch the replays or, connect. But I want you to get this material. This is free business coaching so that you can customize your entrepreneurial journey. You can register at 100kchallengechick.com. That's 100kchallengechick with a K at the end. .com. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week for the 100K strategy challenge. That's the name of the week, but it is a week that you're going to get some free coaching all week long to customize, to learn how to customize your entrepreneurial journey. You guys have a great day.